This is going to be a little review of the War and Treaty. The singers are local to DC. The husband, an Army vet, he was pretty much, he was not from DC, but moved to DC, and then that's basically became his home of record. And the wife side of the group is from Maryland, and I guess they met in school and they were pursuing the musical endeavors. And at some point they got together and ended up being married, and they live in Nashville, and they come to DC from time to do events. It was pretty spirited. It was a packed house at the Howard Theater, which pretty old place, but old-fashioned theater, a beautiful place, but its capacity it can be reached quite fast. Getting tickets, before I show you some of the highlights of the concert, you have to make a reservation for a table or a seat. Otherwise, it's standing room only, and it's a concrete floor. So it's both criticism and admiration at how well the renovation went, but they could have, I think, could have put some cushioning on the floors, because standing there for 3-4 hours, it was excruciating for me. But I've been there before for another concert for a flamenco show over a year ago, and it was pretty good. And I had a booth to myself, so it wasn't like packed to full capacity for that night, because they were performing for several nights. But once people get some drinks and all that, they go to the lower level. It looks like a mosh pit, is what I would call it, where there's some seating, and that, of course, that has to be by reservation. And whatever tickets are sold there left over, people can go to the bar and at the same level and just procure themselves a drink and then come back down and stand and watch the show. That works for a lot of the young crowd, because this is in the Shaw neighborhood in DC, so there are a lot of college students out there, and that's good for a Thursday or Friday night or Saturday. A good place to gather. But it was busy. It just gets busy, very busy, and getting there early. The traffic getting to the Howard Theater is one way only, meaning that if you're going to drive, then you have to be there like maybe a couple hours early, go someplace in the neighborhood and catch a really nice dinner and some cocktails, because it's pretty expensive inside the theater. That's how it is. But there are plenty of places to eat in a neighborhood, and then walk it back into the theater and get your tickets. Those of us who are not going to drive to these venues, the metro will drop you off within a block's walk from the theater, and that'll be in the Green Line. So you can go from Red Line to the Green Line, you get off at Shaw. It's a pretty short ride. So I find it convenient, because the shows mostly, they can end about 11ish or so. So it's a whole lot more time and for you to get in the skate pod and get out before the last number ends, and which is what I do. That's how it is. Most people like me who do that. I'm not the only one. I know it's ending, and I'm gonna squeak my way out quietly so that I can procure transportation before the metro shuts down for the night. And it's just the best policy, especially in these venues. They're really tight, one way only traffic on that roadway, and it's pure hell. I've seen people trying to pull in and trying to get a street parking and all that, and they got valet parking, but everything takes time. And for me, once I'm done with the show, I just want to get out. Sounds boring, but usually I get my meal and everything else that I need to get done, and I just go there for the music or whatever the case may be. And I just don't want to waste time. I just want to get my entertainment and be a little bit efficient. I am rarely someone who is more leisurely about going into a show and then taking my time to get out. The only one where I took my time a little bit recently was Porgy and Bess, and hopefully you've seen that video. You won't get, of course, you didn't get any footage on that one, that like you will on this one today. But that show was recorded. Of course, going to be broadcast for free in August, but this one was not broadcast, I don't believe, and it was not recorded that I'm aware of it. If it was, it may be out there on YouTube as well. So I want to give you some highlights of the show. It was very good. They're very generous. The War and Treaty there, they're very generous with their music. They definitely are. And they could go on and on all night. They're very personable artists, and I was glad that I had an opportunity to see them live again. I've seen them before, another fundraiser for ASAP over a year ago, and I was very impressed. And they just exude kindness and just a connection with their fans. It's very rewarding. Not much else to say other than for these venues, like I said, anything that has to do with culture, music, and all that in theater, you got to catch these shows way ahead. And these are your favorite artists, and you just happen to be visiting in DC. I don't know, people when they go to New York, the first thing they do is try to book themselves a Broadway show because that's what you do when you go to New York. What else? DC can be pretty much the same way. Just plan ahead, and I have travel planning services. If that's something that you would like to take advantage of, let me know. My contact information is here. You can always message me through any of my social media channels. And I'm not going to delay much more to let you folks take a gander at the short video highlights of this particular concert. And I hope they come back again soon. I'm able to attend one more time. So enjoy the show.